Hey Henry, just gonna do a quick start to finish, warming up the warming up the 3D printer as we speak. Hey John, I'm gonna do a quick 3D print. Jesse Nukes wanted to see me do a print, so we're warming up the printer at the moment. I gotta do a quick filament change, and then I got a little like 1 hour long print that I'm gonna work on, where we can kind of see the whole process start to finish. I do have a filament change during the print, so it'll be kind of a unique one, I guess you could say. Don't have a filament change on every single print. So much dust in here from all the drywall I've been working on. So I'm going to take out the red filament that you see up there. I'm going to put in this called burnt titanium. It's got kind of a little bit of a shiny, sparkly bit. Hey, Fook! Oh, you're all right, buddy. I ended up with only, 3 fish for the day, 2 stripers and one sauger. It was definitely nothing special. So we're going to do just a quick little 3D print. It takes about an hour. By the time, once I get it started, I just got to do a little prep work first. Jesse was on my live stream today asking me to do a print. She wanted to see how it all went, so that's what we're doing. It's just a little keychain, nothing special. Starting with a quick filament change, because I got to take out the old filament and switch to the color I want. There we go. Gotta do it halfway quick because the machine has a certain pace that it does things. We're gonna make a little keychain, Jesse. I made one of these for Mrs. Iowa a while back and I didn't like the way it turned out, so I'm gonna make a new one. And I'm gonna make some adjustments to it. Alright, that beep says that it's preheated and ready for me to put the new filament in. So there's that. Hit the button, it'll start feeding the filament through. Nice. Now you'll see, I got you on a tripod that's got all sorts of movement and stuff to it, but you'll see here in a second that filament starts squeezing out of the extruder here. There we go, pooping out some filament. Get that color change. Get to the color we want, which is what we got now. As soon as it's done pooping that out a little bit. Alright, Fook, go eat your supper. Don't want you late to the dinner table. Alright, so we got that part done. Finish the process. Go back in my menus here. Choose the file that I want to print. Should be this one. Alright, so it's automatically just going to get started here. Yeah, like I said, I made it once before and it just didn't turn out the way I wanted. Just ate a meal as big as Thanksgiving. Yum. We haven't eaten yet. We haven't decided what we're eating. Mrs. Iowa's been upstairs working on her plant room. And so I just decided to find something to do in the meantime. I should probably be working on that drywall on the closet. I got to finish sanding the drywall in the one corner that I had to remud. But that's not any fun. So most of the action should take place kind of in that area once it gets going here. It's gonna do its little check its bottom, make sure it's setting at the right height. and do a wipe. Oh, nice. Sounds delicious. So it'll wipe off the filament here that it's got hanging, and it'll make sure that it's got filament to the end of the extruder nozzle. Put you guys down just a little lower so you can see a little better. Oh, well, in a second, it's heating up. It's pretty much on autopilot now, so I've got around 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, and then I got to do a quick filament change because I'm going to change colors partway through. Unfortunately, you have to do that manually, so I got to kind of, I either need to set an alarm for the timing, or I have to kind of hang out in here until it's ready, because otherwise it'll cool down, and it never quite works right when you let it cool down too much. Things don't stick the way they're supposed to or anything. It's warming up. You like my face hugger on the wall? And then I've got my whole like alien setup up there. I got all my alien figures and shit that I'm a nerd and collect. Yeah, I don't know what we're eating yet. We're gonna come to that conclusion here in a bit. Once Mama's done playing with her plants. No, Gus, I haven't tried making fishing lures. They wouldn't be strong enough to hold the hook on their own. And there's no way to really put a hook in there and print around the hook. So I'd be afraid of the not being strong enough in general. Just waiting on the build plate to warm up just a little bit more. As soon as it hits its 60 degrees Celsius, it'll kick off. There we go. Build plate's now 60 degrees Celsius, and the extruder nozzle is 200 degrees Celsius. There we go. It's wiping the old filament off. Now she goes into basically autopilot. I just got to check, make sure my first layer looks good. Make sure my clearances are set right. Sometimes you got to make some minor adjustments, especially if you haven't printed anything in a while like I haven't. I think everything looks pretty good so far. I wonder if I can get you guys just a little bit lower so you can kind of see. Sorry, I'm adjusting a tripod, so it's going to be a little jolty here for a second. Tripods aren't made for adjustments like that. I am making a keychain, just a cute little keychain. Gonna get this to where it'll focus where I want it to. Still allow you guys to see. Yeah, it doesn't want to stick with that focus for whatever reason. Keeps wanting to focus on the nearest thing to it. No matter how many times I tell it to stay focused in a certain spot. Yeah, it's nothing special. It's just a little keychain that does that make things better or worse? It seems like it may have helped the focus a little bit. Or not. I just can't win. Just trying a few things. Bear with me. Never tried to do a 3D print live like this. I usually just set up the GoPro and let it eat. Just keeps wanting to zoom in on those, or focus in on those letters. So yeah, what this is it looks like it's a keychain that looks kind of like one of those hotel keychains. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but just like a little panel that hangs off of a set of keys. And you know, in this house we're Alien fans, so it's only fitting that it's an Alien themed keychain. But like I said, I made one and I didn't like the way it turned out, so this one's kind of a revamp of that one that I made before. Hey Mick, how's it going, buddy? A little different stream than what you're used to. Yeah, just doing a little 3D print. Jesse Nukes was asking me to do a print, so no, there won't be any numbers on it, but there'll be some letters and stuff on the top. So there will be some writing on it on the top end. But that's part of the filament change I got to do. Is that filament change will be a different color, so that the letters really stand out. A little bit of sag in the filament there, but it's not too bad. Alien, yes, Alien. I know you are also a fan, Jesse. The one I made before of this, for some reason the second color all peeled off, and I didn't like it. So the lettering kind of just came off the front, and so I wanted to try something a little different. I changed some settings to see if I could get it to take a little better. Changed some settings and adjusted some elevations of the switch and stuff, and I've got all sorts of, here, I'll zoom out for a second, fun little things that I've made on my 3D printer, like this dragon. This is one of the first things I made. It's just a big articulating dragon. But it's just kind of a fun little goofy thing that I saw and made. If Jessie likes her face huggers and her alien stuff, I've made a few little articulated face huggers, fully articulated tails. All the fingers move and stuff, and wrap them around things, stick them on things. Just kind of dumb little things, but they're just fun. I'll use the face huggers for using up old filament when I'm almost out of certain colors. Like this one's red, white, and blue. I just had some red, some white, and some blue filaments, so I just did some switches to put layers in it. But it turned out really good. So I was like, hell yeah. Same dragon, yep. No, you print it all one piece. It all comes, you know, all the little joints get printed on the inside. The layers get built up to where everything interlocks. I did a keychain for my wife. It's a spinal column. I think she's got it in her bag. I'm not positive. But I got this little guy I made, a little axolotl. Trying to do it without getting in the way of my printer, but yeah. Just a little axolotl, but you can see the joints in there. They're just a bar that basically gets built through the joints as it builds, so it's all fully articulated when it comes out. Like I said, dumb little fidgety things that I've just had fun making since I got the printer. Two sharks and one glows in the dark. Nice. Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. This is one of my prints that I did. This one actually turned out really good. But it's an alien. Just hard to fit it all in, but it's a full alien figure. Maybe, possibly, if I can get shit to move. Tripod stiff. There we go. Full alien figure that stands on its own and stuff, and it's like that shiny filament that I thought looked really cool. That one was a little tough, but it worked. Hey Justin, how's it going? Am I ever not live? When I was fishing today, Jesse asked me to do some 3D printing live, so I was like, yeah, why not? I didn't have anything else to do this evening, so I had a little project I wanted to do, and it gave me a reason to do it. So this is just a little keychain. That alien was about, oh shit, it's been so long since I made it, but I think that one was about 16 or 18 hours. Might have been a little bit more. There was a lot of support material on it, so it may have taken a little bit longer. It may have been over 24. I can't remember. Had to do some in real life stuff today. Yeah, you'll have that from time to time. I went out and did my usual fishing and shit, but they're cool, but boy, let me tell you, they can be frustrating as hell when you're having problems with them. Trying to troubleshoot these suckers can be a real bear. One teeny tiny setting could be off by 1/10 of a millimeter, and that's all it takes, and it throws the entire thing off, and you spend hours and days searching through trying to find the one setting that is off. Yeah, it can be very, very frustrating at times. I've disassembled this head that you see, this print head, so many times trying to find little issues in it and stuff. Yeah, see, it gets all dusty and shit. There's just been little things wrong with it that I had to tear it apart and find little parts, and yeah, right. Yeah, Justin, you have no room to talk anyway. You've been going live almost every single day. You just do it while I'm at work, so I can't join you and have fun. I just go live for longer periods of time usually. Yeah, I know. Yeah, unfortunately, they will never be foolproof because the problem is that the parts wear. You know, over time they wear just like everything else, and when they wear, you lose those 1/10 of a millimeter tolerances and things like that. That you know that little bit of tolerance missing is enough to throw off the whole machine, um, and it'll completely mess up your prints. I'll be right back. I gotta go. Yeah, it's a lot of troubleshooting. It really is. I gotta get myself my Gatorade. Gotta have my Busch Light flavored Gatorade. What do I care? I don't monetize. I can drink beer and talk about beer and all that fun stuff. This one's a little faster because I turned it up a little. I got a bigger nozzle, so it will go faster. Our dog's being a little shit. She's whining at me and pawing at me and shit. Hey, Rolf. Just prepping my secondary color filament. Got to trim the end on it and stuff, so it's all set up. I got the secondary roller set up for it, so I can just switch out the filament quick and easy. Nothing to it. This is the old saying, easy peasy lemon squeezy or something like that. Oh yeah, it's smooth. No, they're certainly smooth. If you think about it, this is putting down the plastic in 0.16 millimeter layers. So, you know, a 1/16th of a millimeter, or sorry, less than, or a little over a tenth of a millimeter thick plastic each layer. And so it's got, on a big print, I mean, you're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of layers that all have to be super precision. And so they tend to run pretty smooth just to try to keep those precisions. You go too fast, your machine can wobble and it can cause things to get little squiggles, I guess you could say, in them. Yeah, it'll definitely make the machine wobble if you go too fast and it starts throwing its weight around and shaking itself. So yeah, according to this file, it should be, when I did all the slicing and everything, it should be 51 minutes from the time it started. It says it's been printing for 19, so we got a little ways to go yet, but looks like it's going pretty smooth so far. No issues. Usually if they start off smooth, you're pretty good. If you make sure your first layers are tight, then you don't have any issues. Is it a surprise? No, it's a keychain. You know the old hotel keychain fobs that had like a room number on them or whatever? This is basically one of those, but it's an alien themed one for Mrs. Iowa. I made her one a while back and it just kind of didn't work out the way I wanted it, so I'm making a new one. But since it's a pretty quick print, I figured I'd share it. And I think tomorrow night, I've got the file all tuned up and ready to go. Tomorrow night I may, well, maybe Monday morning I'll start it. I'm not sure yet. But I've got a different keychain that I'll make for my tattoo artist that I think you guys will think is pretty cool. It's another articulating thing, but I think that one takes like 18 hours, 16 or 18 hours. It's pretty long one, but it'll be well worth it. I think you'll like it. It definitely fits his style. But maybe I'll try to time it to where it finishes about the time I get home from work, or sometime after I get home from work on Monday. We'll see. I'll probably be golfing after work, so we'll see. That's the problem with live streaming a 3D print, is I can't be home with it all the time, so it kind of has to run on its own. And then, you know, it just sits there and runs, which is fine. But if it finishes before I get home, then it just sits there idly doing nothing until after I'm home. So it's just kind of a, I don't like to just have it sitting there idly doing nothing on a stream. Although this camera angle does seem to work pretty good. I'll have to remember this when I do my next one. But my next one will take more of the build plate. It'll be a full build plate print. Actually, I had to put it kind of kitty corner across the build plate so it fit. Otherwise, it wasn't going to fit. Now we should be ready to do our filament change here in just a second. Looks like I'm starting to see some lettering getting printed. I thought the first layer of lettering should have already been a filament change. I could be wrong though. And I feel like if it's already doing that, it should be farther than 18% through. I guess you'll have to see. It's a lighter color so you can see it, but it's actually going to be a glow in the dark color. So that way the letters will glow in the dark against the black background is my plan. Yeah, right? I've had prints that I left alone and they messed up while I was gone, and I just had this giant blob of plastic when I got home, and I was just like, shit. I said, usually if you can get it started okay, you're good. It's when you don't get it started okay, or when you get it started and then you just get that oddball issue mid-print. Mrs. Io is running the little vacuum upstairs, so she must be getting finished up with what she's working on. I think the filament change should come on the next layer. I don't know. We'll see here. Because the lettering should all be the other color. Like I said, when you're slicing it and doing things with it, it's literally like fraction of a millimeter by fraction of a millimeter. So it's really easy to be off by that little bit. I've got bags of failed prints and chunks of pieces of plastic that I'm going to send them to get the filament recycled, because you can actually get it recycled to be able to use basically turn it into new filament. Costs a little bit of money, but costs less than new filament does. So, and you never know what color you're going to get, because it's just kind of this random mixing of colors, kind of turns into a puke gray or brown or something. See, I thought it should have had a filament change by now. I don't know why it doesn't. I might just not be thinking right. We'll see. Worst comes to worst, it's all one color. I just don't want it to not have the adhesion like it had before. But I used two different styles of filament. I used a matte filament and a standard filament, so I wonder if that's why it didn't stick together very well. After I make a part, so here's like these are some supports from a part. So these were just like random supports that held up pieces of a part. I can send all these to get ground up. They get ground up into a fine, almost like a powder, and then they get melted and extruded back into a new filament. So you can actually reuse it. There's just a process you have to go through, and they recycle it and turn it into new filament. But yeah, you can't reuse the filament unless you go through all that. Yeah, I don't think I could just take one of my parts that failed and just like stuff it into the extruder and make it come out. Just saying. There are ways that you can actually make filament out of like plastic bottles and stuff, is what they tell me, but it just seems like, I don't know. I don't know that I trust that. This filament's so precise in its thicknesses and all that stuff. There's such tight tolerances on it that just a little bit off can cause the whole thing to fail. So I don't know that I trust trying to make a pop bottle plastic filament. I just love how you spelled it, filament. Is it mint flavored? Filament. Yeah, we still got to figure out what we're doing for supper tonight. Mrs. Iowa needs to get done playing with her plants so we can figure that out. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of strange because it's so monotonous and so simple, but I could sit here and watch it work all day long and just watch it go through the motions. Sit back, drink a beer, and just watch the printer run. You know, it's so strange that you can just sit and watch it. It's almost hypnotizing. Maybe it's an ADD thing. I'm just hoping this one turns out better than the last one I did. Like I said, it turned out good, but it just started kind of falling apart after she carried it around for a bit. Nice tap frozen. Sucker. Nope. Not frozen. Jessie must have just had to walk away for a minute. She's usually the talkative one. Hey, what's up? Welcome, welcome. There's the vacuum running again. Mrs. Iowa must be cleaning up her dirt from repotting plants. She's got her plant room up there. She's been repotting plants all afternoon. Unfortunately, her plant room's right upstairs from the craft room. Alright, Rolf. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you hanging out for a few. I wonder if I can pick you guys up just a little bit more. Get a little better focus on that. There we go. I like this burnt titanium filament. It's got that cool kind of bluish shine to it, bluish green shine. Making you a new keychain, honey. Trying a new one. Mrs. Iowa's here.
I look like hell.
She's been planting. She's not been ready for an audience yet. Jesse wanted to see me 3D print something, so I figured redoing your keychain would be a nice little short print. And I put together Matt spine keychain that says Matt Leaper. Does the full. I was able to squeeze the full name in there. I just have to put a kitty corner across the build plate. I don't know what she's throwing a fit about. They were just outside like 30, 40 minutes ago.
Are you just sassy?
She's just sassy.
You could have came upstairs and seen me.
Yeah, I fed him at like 4:30 because I figured that was about my normal time to get home.
What?
Oh, I know. She's been a little sassafras. Hey, Michigan. I'm just 3D printing a little decorative keychain for Mrs. Iowa. I made one before and it didn't hold together like I wanted it to, so I rebuilt the file and resliced it to hopefully make it work a little bit better. Jessie says, "Hi, wifey."
Hello.
Hello, she says. So yeah, just making a second attempt at it. Jessie wanted to see me 3D print something, so since this is a quick little hour-long print, I figured I might as well use this as an opportunity. Got to keep Jessie Nukes happy. If Jessie Nukes ain't happy, nobody's happy. Oh, I went in there and messed with her a little bit ago. She just being a shit. She came in and out of here earlier, and then she decided to sit out there and whine. Dogs are just being turds. Not you, you're always happy. Jesse's always happy, she says. Nix. What are you doing back there? You being huffy?
What?
She's just being a turd.
You can come in here. I'm just didn't want you fucking realize I'm
Silly
doing
dogs. Silly dogs. Just being needy, being a turd.
this. It's the middle of-
Ah, yes, the fluffers.
Jesus, sir.
What next? What?
Did you just find out?
Nikita? You mean Akita? No, she's not Nikita. If Mrs. Iowa had her way, she'd have an Akita. But Nix is much more than that. She's a Chow Sharpei mix. There's Nix.
She's like, you said my name.
Nix. She's hiding back there behind the tripod. Nix. She's just an old girl. Chow Sharpei mix. She's a sweetheart. Mm-hmm. She's definitely a pillow princess. She gets up there and watches or sits on the pillows and gets comfies. Comfort is the name of her game, 100%. No, when we first got her, you'd watch the puppers and be happy.
I bet you'd be pretty entertaining.
Oh yeah, I could put up a camera just to show the living room and you can watch them lay around all day. When we first got, or when Janice got her, you know, she didn't know exactly what she was. And so we did a bunch of research trying to figure out what she was. I mean, we looked at Kaiken, Akita, Skipper Keys, wondered if maybe she was a really just all black Shiba, like, because she's got the curly tail and stuff. But then we did the doggy DNA test and found out she's Chow and Sharpei. You're what we'd call easily entertained. Jesse, I am not surprised. Just saying. Oh yeah, she's a sweet little girl. Getting her white hairs around her snoot.
She's a lady.
And then you got my silly boy, Corgi Cattle Dog, Staffy mix. He's just a goofball. He's got a Corgi body and Cattle Dog legs, so they don't exactly mix all the time, and he's a little bit awkward, shall we say.
She's losing up with her ears.
Hey Kathleen, just building a quick keychain. It's kind of a little decorative thing for Mrs. Iowa to hang on her purse. I made her one in the past and it just didn't quite last the way I wanted it to, so I'm building a new one. I made some adjustments to make it a little stronger. And problem is that I got two color layers on there, and the first one, the top color layer, the part that you really see,
Wow.
kind of fell off. Nix, why are you such a sass? Oh yeah, Spur's like 25% cattle dog, something like that. I think it was like 20% cattle dog, 20% corgi. Oh, here we go.
It's like
We're ready
40,
for-
46, 47% staff.
Yeah, he's mainly staffy. Time for our filament change. Alright, so that's ready to happen. Pull that filament out. Now Mrs. Iowa's just teasing them, getting them going. And as soon as it's ready, it'll prompt me. And then I'll throw in my glow-in-the-dark filament for my top color. That's my prompt. Alright, it's going to feed in the new filament. Get another little filament poop there. when it oozes out the new color. Yeah, that little nozzle you see there is 200 degrees Celsius. She's pretty warm. Oh yeah.
Here we go.
The dogs are wrestling around being turds.
I was petting him.
Hey, fish boy.
What's the problem?
Just about to the new color. Should start coming out anytime now. There it is. Just gotta get a hold of it and flush out the old color here. And flush just a little bit more. Make sure we get all the old stuff out.
I'm not sure if you like that or not.
Yeah, no, I don't touch it. At 200 degrees Celsius, it's double the temperature of boiling. So yeah, you don't want to touch that. All right, then we hit continue. We'll resume the print. This is the tricky part. Getting everything to stick. This is the hard part right here. So when that first layer goes down, sometimes it doesn't want to stick all the way. That's the problem you run into with multicolored prints. So, fingers crossed. It's laying down a good bead. Yeah, it's not looking like it though, unfortunately, so we'll see what happens here. Yeah, definitely I don't touch the extruder nozzle. That's a good way to get burned. I've accidentally touched it when I was changing it out or cleaning it before it was fully cooled off, and believe me, I knew that I did it. I felt it. I felt it real good. I think if this doesn't quite stick the way I want it to, I might just heat the whole thing up to try to get it to bond back down a little bit better. We'll see. Yeah, the first word didn't stick at all, so we'll see how it works out here. Definitely got some stringing on that second filament too, so I'll definitely need some heat to fry off the strings a little bit. I'm just hoping that this letter starts sticking on its second layer. Oh yeah, it's in Aliens when she says, "Get away from her, you bitch." That's exactly the phrase that it says on there, and it's going to be in glow-in-the-dark lettering, hopefully. We'll see what happens here. See, but kind of under extruded there, unfortunately, so I don't know if it's going to work or not.
You are choosing to land in other
It's always interesting when changing filaments. Sometimes it works perfect, and other times it's just a disaster. And doing lettering like this in a that fine lettering in a new filament tends to make things a little more difficult. They don't like to stick all that well. I'm gonna tune it and up my flow rate just a little bit to see if I can get it to stick a little bit harder. If I have to redo it, I might lower my layer heights for the lettering just to see if I can squish it in there a little tighter. But I think if I heat it up enough, it might be enough to get it all to seal down. We'll see. Sometimes there's a little bit of after work you got to do. Like that sword that I made, that sucker, I had to spend like 12 hours just working on that, trying to get it all fused together and stuff. Yeah, the words get away doesn't seem like it, doesn't look like get away is taken very well, unfortunately. What next? What? The door was open for like 45 minutes. Oh, you got Nix's spot? Mm-hmm. Nix is itchy. But at least if this one fails, it's a small, simple print. Small, simple prints failing are much less devastating than large, difficult prints. Because the really big prints, when they fail, you might not have a failure until... I had one that was like 36 hours long and it failed at like 35 and a half hours. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was so mad. Used almost an entire roll of filament. Damn near broke my heart. Yeah, I could see the Pod, yeah. I could see making like an eagle for a flagpole or something for sure. Got to be careful though, because some of those filaments don't hold up to sunlight super well. Just depends on what filament that you use to make it. Thanks, Pierre. Like I said, it's not done yet, and it's not quite turning out the way I had hoped, but I think it might be salvageable. We'll see. What next? You just being a turdy girl?
Come here. What's the problem?
Yeah, like I said, Jesse, it's almost perfect, but I think the word get and away aren't going to stick unless I do something, because the first layers didn't quite bond the way they're supposed to. But like I said, I think I'm going to try to heat it up and see if I can't get those layers to kind of seal together. Hey, Jen. See if I can't get those layers to seal together a little better and be a little stronger. Unfortunately, it's just part of 3D printing, is it's a lot of trial and error. Like I said, at least it's a smaller part, so if something goes wrong, I'm not too upset about it, because it's not like I had to use a shit ton of filament and stuff. Nix, why are you so talkative?
What? Help me heat up and run it.
Yeah, it said it's a 51-minute print, and we're sitting on the printer. It says 47 minutes, so
Oh, no, help me heat 'em up.
should be just about done. We'll know the finished product here in a minute, but I won't be able to pull it off the build plate yet. I'll have to wait till it cools for a couple hours before I can pull it off.
Maybe she'll scoot down.
They literally laid in here for like 30 minutes while the door was open.
They were inside then, not outside. Clearly she's not done.
Clearly, she decided she needed to go back out, but was too lazy to go check and see if the door was still open.
She's thinking about listening to the movie now. She's thinking about throwing the handle.
Yeah, Jen, how's Derek? You and your mans? As Jesse says. She getting sassy again? That's good. I wonder. I'm gonna try something here. I got checking the different light colors that I got on this light setup to see if it would make it glow a little bit, but know that it's quite UV enough to really get it going. Close. I don't know, it's starting to look a little bit better. Like I said, I think the big thing is just making sure those letters don't pop off. That's what happened last time. The letters popped off on her after she cured it for a day or two. And I think it was the word get and the word away that really came off. So I think it's just with that filament change, that first couple passes don't quite bond like they're supposed to, unfortunately. Why were you sad the other day? Right? Yeah, but I want it all to stick. I want it all to look good. If it's worth doing right, right? Hey, Jackson. Oh, I got you. Yeah, we all go through those days, Jen Jen. It sucked fishing today, so I was kind of sad.
Did you just hear my chair last night?
Uh-uh.
He went open up the door. He goes out on the deck. She stands on the steps and just barks at me.
She's a turd.
And I thought maybe she didn't want to be together. But I think she's
Sassy.
being needy.
She just being sassy
I
tonight.
think she just wants attention, but she wants it to come to her.
Typical woman. Wants all the attention, but doesn't want to go looking for it. She wants it all to come to her. No, it's not fishing. This is 3D printing tonight. Jesse wanted to see a quick 3D print, so I'm making a quick 3D print. Nothing special, just a little keychain for Mrs. Iowa's keychain. That's for her purse. She likes to dangle all the stuff from her purse. She's got about 10 freaking things hanging from her purse all the time. Wow, that's a big Burbo. I thought Burbo were slimy enough you'd be able to get them to slip through like a catfish. I have had channel catfish though that I couldn't fit through an 8-inch hole. I got him out through the 8-inch hole, but when I tried to put him back in, his fins went out and he filled the entire hole. If they hated it, it wasn't mine. That's all good. I don't care. People hate on things just to hate on things. I posted a short of the little candy cane raccoon cub knife that I got the other day. And I got it way cheaper than what it retails. I got it, damn near free as part of a bundle that I bought from somebody. And the guy was like, it looks dumb and it probably costs $200. I wouldn't buy it. And I was like, okay, what was the point in telling me that? Like, congratulations, you've got an opinion. Nobody needs to know your negative opinion. Life is good, he says. Yep, I know the feeling. Sipping on a cold bush latte, watching the wife play with the dogs, and her dog is being an absolute turd. She's being extra. Yeah. It's almost an 11-year-old dog, and she's feeling playful as hell tonight. Yeah, she's missing over half of her teeth. Half her teeth. Yeah, assholes and those sort of things. I don't even care if somebody doesn't like something or whatever, but like, I will never comment on somebody's video or something and be like, that looks dumb, or I don't like it. I just move on. Like, I don't understand why people feel like they have to express their negative opinions. It's like, just move on with your life. Nobody cares. That one biggie. Oh boy. 60 degrees in Oklahoma. It'll be almost 50 here in Iowa tomorrow. I'll be on the ice again. Mrs. Iowa hasn't decided if she's going to join me or not yet. She's thinking about it, but it's Leonard. All dogs have that little childlike mindset sometimes. Our male dog, he's all about being playful all the time. In your shorts, it's warmer. She's just a little more of a putty princess. She doesn't do a whole lot of playing these days as she gets older. But every once in a while, she gets that little hair. Gets a little crazy. Oh, there we go. It has finished up. Oh, let's get a good view here. That's all right, Pierre. It's just that one guy. He's just being that one guy. So it looks like it turned out all right. There's a little bit of gooping around the E and the T there. So let's finish that. We'll turn off the printer here. Pull the stringing away here. So yeah, that'll have to sit for a bit and cool. But in the meantime, we can test it. I'm going to switch off the light, so it's going to get dark here for a moment. But you can see it's already glowing a little bit. If I turn on my UV light, that sucker gets all sorts of charged up and glows like crazy. So yeah, I think that'll look pretty good in the dark, hanging from her purse. Not that she does a whole lot of wandering around the dark, but every once in a while. So yeah, turned out all right. Little cleanup, exactly. And like I said, I think I'm going to heat it up and see if I can get those letters to stick, because that the G-E-T, the getaway is going to be a little tough to keep stuck. So another thing I'll do, it's just a decoration there. One guy. So I'll take my lighter and I'll just kind of torch off some of the little stringies. Just got to be careful, because if I get it too hot, it'll melt. But that'll help also kind of stick that plastic down. I'll take my little mini torch and I'll torch it here in a little while after it cools, and I can take it off the build plate. There we go. Yep, alien themed keychain. Yeah, it looks all right. It worked out. It's not quite as clean as I'd like it to be, but let's see if I can get you guys out of this holder here. There we go. Not quite as clean as I'd like it to be, but it gets the job done. So turn that off, and here's Jesse. Here's the Alien collection. Alien and Predator. Most of it. Yeah, there's a few other little things. Yeah, it's when I change colors. When I change colors on the filament, that's when sometimes it doesn't quite stick right. And here's some of the other little Alien and Predator doohickeys that I made. Like my clear filament Predator. Unfortunately, the clear filament isn't very clear. I got to try that again sometime. There's like a little black version of him, and then my alien head sticking through the wall. Then a little mini alien queen and a little Predator keychain, Predator mask. Here's a little 3D printed slug that I made. It's an articulated slug. Everybody loves these things. Yeah, Mrs. Iowa just likes the sound. Yep, Mrs. Iowa's a big Harley Quinn fan. Yeah, and I got my alien slug. Alien snail. Cheap little Temu thing. And our lemon tree's got some flowers starting on it.
A whole bunch.
Whole bunch of buds going. Smells real nice in this room right now. Yeah, that slug cost me like $1 on freaking Temu. But yeah, these are the Aunt Lucia. Is that his name, honey?
Yeah.
Aunt Lucia figures. And then this one here is actually a signed figure. Yeah, the slug. That slug or that slug. Yeah, this is our craft room. I don't know, Jesse, I don't know if you're like Mrs. Iowa and ever got into Dance Dance Revolution, but we got a bunch of Cobalt Flux DDR pads that she's going to fix up and sell. Those are in good shape, about $200 a piece.
I got all of them for 200.
Yeah, she got all of them for 200, and if we can get them all working, they'll be about 200 a piece.
They all work. They just need tweaking.
Yeah, tweaking, cleaning. So anyway, now that we've had a little 3D print thing like Jesse wanted, you did when you were younger. Mrs. Iowa was part of a DDR club, a freaking club. And since everybody has been liking it so much, let me switch the camera here. It's glowing just a little, but when I turn on the UV light, there's the glowy deer skull that everybody seems to like. I think it turned out pretty damn sweet. I like how the cavities all glow. It just has that really creepy look to it. I can like charge up the inside of the eye sockets and inside of the nose and stuff so they glow even more. But yeah, the glow is pretty intense. It'll damn near light up a room. But yeah, it definitely turned out good. I'm pretty proud of the way that one happened. So that'll definitely be something else I do. I got a few more skulls that I can play with doing stuff with. That one there I think would look awesome because he's just got those big thick antlers that would look really cool in the glow. I got a few things to play with. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with, what little ideas I have. I'm kind of like a mad scientist sometimes and just start doing shit. Dragon head fireplace. Huh, yeah. That could be kind of cool. All right, kids. Well, I'm going to log out now that we got another hour alive tonight. Well, Mrs. Iowa's getting comfy just in time to figure out what we're going to do for supper.
And what we're going to watch from the mommies.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. And yeah, I'll probably be fishing tomorrow. So feel free to check in if you want. Have a good one, guys. Have a good night.